And I know that some people will say, well, how could you relatively moved on so quickly, or do you not still love your wife, or how did your children cope? And yeah, of course, I was incredibly careful about dealing with the children. I'll be honest. In the first relationship that I had, I hadn't told the children, and that was nothing. It was something for me. I was looking after them 365 days a year, but I knew that there needed to come one day in a month, whatever, that was something about me, and they didn't need to. I wasn't trying to protect them or whatever. Some people like to say everything straight away. I know sort of a widow who's told the children everything from straight away, and I wasn't that way inclined. But all I can say is that the children's interests obviously remain completely paramount, and it took time, and it evolved, and I introduced this lady as my friend, which to a degree she was, and then but you have to the one thing I have done is I will always put the children first. But as I said earlier, if I don't look after myself, if I don't know I know what makes me happy. I couldn't go out and find a relationship that made me happy, but that was lucky. I did find a relationship. But once I knew that, then I had to make space for both things. And I've always been very clear with the children, that because they would say to me things like, do you love her more than the mummy? Will you always love mummy? You love this person now more than mummy. You don't care about mummy. You've forgotten about mummy. And I'd say no, that's not the case. I say I love this person in a different way, and always reassuring them that you will love their mum, because of course you will do, and you would do, and you would have been together forever. Had she not died. But I never lied. And I never denied anything that was true, or that I felt was emotionally how I felt or what I believed. Even if they didn't want to hear it, I still respected them enough, and then they needed to know. And I think that helps. I mean, because the children have to go through a pathway, and they have to, and I can't. I mean, two of my children are probably in a better place than one of the other children. And each of them deals with grief in their own particular way. But I have, I managed a relationship with both parties, with the lady in question and with my children, with respect and with decorum, and managing it in the right way, and doing it in a nice slow way, and never throwing it upon them. They just suddenly woke up one day and realised, well, hang on, Rupert's been seeing a lot of this lady, and suddenly they're friends, and suddenly, oh, looks like she stayed the night, kind of thing. But I was very open and honest. And even if they didn't want to necessarily hear what the answers were that I gave, and everybody has a great relationship. I mean, she has 2 children, and there's 7 of us now. That's bloody expensive when it comes to holidays, I can assure you, or car hire. And I think that is important. I think you do have to manage that process. You can't just suddenly say, oh look, somebody new's just walked into my life. You do have to think about that. But equally, you have to be honest and say to the children everywhere, look, this person has come, but it hasn't changed my feelings for your mother or your mum. But I want this, and this is important to me, and that's the way it's going to be. And sometimes, that's the way it's got to be. People talk about moving on, moving forward. I don't know what you know what I mean. It's you're not leaving the past behind, and you're not forgetting that person. But it's important to me to show the children that there is the whole of their lives ahead of them. This terrible thing has happened to them. It's unimaginable. I've had the chance to meet somebody else. They don't have the chance to have another mother. They don't. That opportunity is gone. So all of those little mother-daughter shopping trips and little weekends away to Paris or something, that's gone. And I feel so much sadness for them that they don't have that. But equally, I want to show them that we will prevail. We will, as a family, move forward. We will embrace what life has to offer. And this other person in my life is never going to be their mother, but she's a positive influence, and that's part of the process. But it's not all of it. It's don't stop. Life hasn't stopped. A terrible thing has happened, but look at everything else that you could do with your life. And make your mum proud about what you're going to do with it. I think that's the point you raise is really important.